These are gonna go in the wheel wells and underneath the Jeep. You guys can see just how bright they are. And yes, they will be green. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome back or to the channel. And if you're new around here, I'm Mike, the Smokin Monkey, and today we're finally gonna throw on those rock lights. And I'm saying finally because I've had them for a bit, but we've been fighting with the headlights for a little bit, trying to get them working properly. And if you haven't caught those past two vlogs, then definitely check those out because quite a bit of a hassle. But if you guys are looking to add RGB lights to your Jeep or your TJs, JKs, JTs, JLs, whatever the case may be, whatever you drive, or even a YJ, then definitely check those videos out because you guys will see a lot of good tips and tricks on how to wire them up and how to get them to run properly, because some of those Chinese lights, they don't come with instructions and they don't even come wired the same as the diagram. Mine said there was supposed to be 2 pigtails, but there was 1. Nevertheless, we got it done and it runs and it looks great. So check it out. I hope you guys like it as much as I do because it's coming together slowly. So hopefully we can get some more stuff done today. I've got the rock lights, which I will show you guys. Well, you guys just saw them, but I will show you guys again in a second. And I'll show you exactly how bright they are, but they look awesome. And I cannot wait to get them in there. So we're gonna stick some under the grill. We're gonna stick some underneath the Jeep and in the wheel wells. And they aren't gonna do too much for actual lighting and helping us out on the trail, but I've got something else for that. So stay tuned, don't worry. We're gonna take care of the actual lighting for actual driving and off-roading. But these are more just for an accent, just to look good, just to look cool. And honestly, I never thought I would really put rock lights on there, but I figured since we're going with the other lights that I'm doing, you guys will see later, it'll make more sense at the end. But since we're going with the other lights, and these are gonna kind of complement those. So once I put it all together, and once you guys see the end of this build, it'll all make sense. But for now, let's go slap those lights on, let's go plug them in, and hopefully they look good. As you guys can see there, 3 lights per pod. We're gonna do 2 pods per wheel well. Should light it up real nice. They're very bright and I love the color, and the reason I got these ones over the color changing ones is because they are brighter than the color changing ones and they should provide us with less hassle and less issues just through usage, because I don't have to worry about any apps or any remotes or anything like that. I've already gone ahead and ran my wiring harness. I got 2 of these. The first one I'm gonna be running for just the grill so that we can run it while we're driving, and hopefully that doesn't piss people off. And the second harness will be for the full underglow underneath all the way around. And each one's rated for 180 watts. These lights, I should say, are rated for 1.5 watts each. I know it's a little hard to see there, but so I can literally run over 100 of these on one harness and it should be fine. So we're not going to be running that many, but we should be fine with the, I think, 15 or 16. I don't know. We'll count it all up at the end. But I'm planning to run 3 in the grill and then 2 under each wheel well, or inside each wheel well, I should say. 2 on the sides and then 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And then hopefully that lights it up well enough. But yeah, let's throw on this first one. I've already attached it. Beautiful thing about this guy is it comes with a plug, so even though it is plugged in, I flip the switch to off because I have a switch here that I will mount inside the dash. But we can plug this in and test as we go because we've got leads, so it's kind of nice. So I'm going to mount up these 3 with wire ties. If I don't like it, I can just snip the wire ties and go and mount it again. But let's mount up 3 right now. Let's test it out and let's see how it looks. The great thing about these ones is they come with a 3M tape along the back, and they have a mounting hole which fits a number 8 self-tapper, which I've got a pack of. So hopefully we can actually get these mounted up depending on whether we need to use a screw or a tie or whatever. And I also got ties with the mounting holes, so we can tidy up all the wires underneath after and mount it all up nice. I also have some with the push. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about there. I got some of these with the little push pin, so that should help us in some situations as well. And yeah, so let's get these on there. Hopefully they look good. I'm going to test it after I throw these on to see the brightness, just so that we know how to mount them and where to mount them after. on the rest of the body, but let's do these 3 quick. So I got these 3 lights in already, and basically what I did is I grabbed this because it's roughly the size of one of the lights. As you can see, it's pretty much the exact same size, and it's got a magnet on the back. So I just threw it in there and I lined it up to where I would want it, just to give me like a rough estimate of what the light will look like in there. So I've already placed 3. I've got one there, one there. It's a little hard to see, but that's a good thing. It's mounted really flush, and one there. So now let me turn off the lights over here for a second. I'm not going to close the hood, but I can at least show you guys what it's going to look like. So not too bad. I think it's pretty bright. Like, you can see the light all the way onto the winch here, and not too bad. So yeah, the light does reach out a bit, but not enough that it's actually gonna piss people off, hopefully. And the way I mounted them, yeah, you can see one there, but the way I mounted them, you got to get really low before you start to see them. So even right about here, you don't see anything. And I think I got the glow pretty even. If anything, it's a little bit dark in this one slot of the grill, but overall I'm pretty satisfied. I think it looks pretty good. Now let's go and let's do the rest. Just finished up the heat shrink on the connector for the grill. So now I've got a nice weatherproof connector that I can plug in whenever I want, and if I want to, I can wire something else up, just get one of these connectors, and I can use that switch for whatever I want. And I got a little bit of extra wire from here because this had probably about 3 feet on the end. I just cut it and spliced it right here. And the beautiful thing about this shrink tube is, I don't know if you guys can catch that on the camera, is it's got tons of glue in it. There you go, you can see it right there. So it has a nice amount of glue, so that's going to seal it up really well. You can see it kind of shiny there, and hopefully that's going to create a solid connection with no moisture getting in and no kind of issues. So now that the grill is done, I'll show you guys basically this guy right here. There's like a grommet right down here underneath your brake booster, and it just runs a wiring harness. I cut it so that I could slip in a few more wiring harnesses and switches, and it comes out right under your dash. So you can see I've got my first switch here for my KCs, and I'm gonna run this switch through there and have it for my grill. So let me run that switch in there, and then after we're gonna cut up some nice hopefully nice looking holes over here so that we can put the switches in, and that way we don't have any kind of ugly switches like this one, because this thing is not the prettiest. But it came with the Jeep, so I reused it for my new lights. I didn't feel like putting another hole in the dash at the moment, but now since we're adding a whole bunch of other stuff, I might as well go for it. So I have a step bit, I'll be cutting that up after, but that's at the end. Right now I'm gonna run this wire really quick inside. After that, we'll start on all the rock lights for all the wheel wells. So these lights come on a strand of 4 lights per strand, and they don't leave very much room in between the lights, as you guys can see. So going from where I want to place this one down to here is a little bit too close. I'd like it probably about here, and then another one in the back right before the back, or maybe even over here. But regardless, to get it over here, I'm gonna need to extend this by, I'd say, about a half a foot to a foot. I'd say a foot just to be safe. So I'm gonna have to start cutting these up and extend them, and then we should be able to get them in place. I've put in the first 2 in the wheel wells here. You can see the first one is right there, second one is right there, and they are held in by self tappers. And when you back up You don't really notice them unless you get really low, which is the point. I don't want them to be seen when they're lit unless I'm in like a weird position climbing an obstacle or something. But when it's sitting there on the street, they shouldn't be seen. And let me see if I can get you guys a quick sneak peek to see how they look. So there you have just the wheel. And it looks pretty good. Like I said, you can't really see them unless you get really low. But when you're just looking at it, not bad. It is pretty bright in here, so I won't be getting the full effect until I go out. But it still looks pretty decent so far. And we are getting a little bit of a green glow over here too, so that's good. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. I think the next light is gonna have to go probably somewhere over here, because you can see the green light kind of ends right about there. It's hard to see. So far so good. Got the first few in. Now I just gotta solder all my connections like I did here. And I'm gonna get rid of all these clips and solder them in nice and permanent. And hopefully that's gonna be a little bit more weather resistant than these, because these have like I showed you, that glue that comes out. So hopefully it'll seal it against all the mud and dirt and salt and road grime and water and whatever. So I've got one in right here. I've got one in over here. I don't know how bright they'll be once we actually get out. So I might be doing a little overkill, but it's too bright in here to really tell. So I guess we'll see once we get outside. But if it's too bright, it's too bright. It is what it is. So let's go. Let's finish off this side, and then I will go and I'll show you guys what it looks like, and we'll go to the other side. And there it is. I think it looks really good. So far, it's looking not too bad. And in here, it is pretty bright, so it's hard to see, but you can still kind of see the outline of like where the green's gonna be, even though it's bright in here. But I think we got the wheel wells lit up pretty good. And I tucked them in right back there, so you can't really see it because of this lip. And that one is tucked in right in there. And these wires, as you can see, I've already started getting rid of all the clips. All of these clips I'm gonna cut out, and I'm gonna replace with just heat shrink, so that hopefully they last a little bit longer. And yeah, you can see some of the clips here. We're gonna have a whole bunch of these when we're done. But it is about midnight, so I'm gonna turn this thing off, put everything away, come back here, and we should be able to finish it by tomorrow. The next day now, and I already got a head start today. I've already thrown in 2 more lights under here. So you can see there's one there and there's one over there. Now hopefully these will give us enough light. I've already tested them. They do look all right, but it is pretty bright in here, and I will have to wait until we get it outside to actually see. But for now, we've got everything done on this side, including all the wiring except for soldering out the connections. As you can see here, I've already soldered a couple connectors, so they're gonna all end up looking like this instead of like that. There you go, there's a pile of them already. So I've already started on a few of them. The back is completely done. Now I just gotta wire up a few lights on the front, at the bottom, this wheel well, that wheel well, and the side. So I'm gonna wire everything up, and then we'll go through and just solder everything all at once. So for now, let's go, let's bang it out, let's throw everything in, and I can show you guys what I've done under the hood. What we've got under the hood, I've got both of the relays right there, one for the grill, one for the rest of the lights, and they run right across with the regular wire loom that is run from the factory. I just put it together there with a few wire ties, ran it across, and threw it through that grommet I showed you guys earlier inside, and then I have my switches in there. So the last thing we're gonna do is mount the switches, but for now everything is cleaned up. Only thing I'm gonna have to do is mount the actual wire for the rock lights. I'm gonna run it along the top as well, and the rest is as you see. So we've got one rock light here, one rock light in there, can't really see it but it's in there, and one right here. Now this I'm gonna see what I can do to clean this up a little bit better, but it shouldn't be an issue. I might just throw another wire tie in there and hold it up like this, and that should do the trick. I got the first two done and soldered them up just so that I can actually run the rest of them and get all of them working so I can see how they look as I go. Then I'll get rid of all the actual connectors and solder those in. So let's mount these up real quick, and then we'll get to soldering everything up and we should be pretty much done. So we've got everything but the front done. So just gonna have to do it right here, but let's light it up and let's see how the sides and the back look for now. And I will take it outside for you guys in the dark to see exactly what it looks like in its natural habitat after we're done. Now remember, it is a pretty bright environment in here, so it is hard to see. Well, there you have it. Now, I don't know why the green doesn't show up on camera as well as it should, but maybe it's the lighting in here. And one of them isn't lighting up, this one. I don't know why, but we will try to figure that out. I think it's just a loose wire somewhere, but I think it's looking pretty good so far. We will take it outside to give it that full effect, but so far, so good. Now, let me figure this one out, and then I'll get to wiring up the front real quick. All right, we got it working. All I had to do was take care of this connector. It was kind of just a shitty connector, so I cut it out, and we soldered it all up. Everything is running as it should. We've got both, well, I should say all four wheel wells, both sides and the back. Now, only thing left is the front. So let's run those last three, put the switches in, or mount the switches, and we'll be done. And because I extended both sides, these ran in a sequence of 4, and then it was capped off like this. The other ones had a wire coming out on both ends so that you can add another light. So we've got 3 end pieces left. Now we'll grab these 3 and we'll just run them all separately and tie them in together at the end once we're connecting all of them, because we've got one from there, one side from there. I've got an end piece in here, and we've got an end piece, well, 3 end pieces that are going to run on the bottom. So should be all right, should be pretty simple. And then we'll solder up all the connections. But for now, let's go and let's run these last 3. And just so that you guys can see, I'm soldering them right around. Hopefully the camera's focusing on that, but that should hopefully hold. Some of them aren't pretty, like this one looks a little pregnant, but at least they are soldered right through all the way around. And then I'm gonna slip on some heat shrink it down, and hopefully that's gonna be a little bit more weather tight than these connectors. I know it's hard to see, but there we go. Yeah, so I don't know. These are rated for IP67. I know the lights are, but I don't know about these connectors. But it should technically all be rated IP67. Either way, I know I'm creating more work for myself, but it's peace of mind later. And if I need to replace one, it's snip, snip, solder a new one in. And we are done. Got everything wired up to the switch. Just gotta throw a couple wire ties in to clean it all up. But we are done. And unfortunately, it is like almost midnight, 11:51, if it's gonna focus on me there. But regardless, it's getting late. And I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to do all the connectors right now. So I will do that really quick tomorrow. But flip the two switches here. Still gotta I still gotta mount those in there, but check it out, guys. So far, so good. And we got a pretty good pattern over here. Should be nice once we get it outside. Sweet. Everything is mounted, everything is tidied up, all the wires are tucked in there and tied up with wire ties. So you can't see anything hanging, nothing should get caught when we go off-roading. And the last step, I'm going to be putting in a couple switches and I'm going to be mounting them right here. As you can see, there's the first one. This is the switch that came with the Jeep for the old owner's lights, and I repurposed it for my KC Hiltis. And I'm using just a regular step bit so I can just get it to the right size. That way I don't go too far. And since there's already a bunch of pilot holes for me, I'm just using those because I guess whoever used this Jeep before had something mounted there and it's not there anymore. Either way, let's go. Let's bang this out and let's get this thing outside. Woo! After a few long days, it is finally finished. And I'm happy to say we are done. Now it is time to go outside and enjoy. But just to quickly go over what I did, I ran both of the harnesses through there, into the firewall, through that boot that I showed you guys earlier in the video. That's how I got both the switches inside. Then I ran everything over here. Here's the two relays, 1 and 2. We've got this tied up in a stack over here. Yeah, there is some bit of wires over here now, but it is sort of kind of contained. We put 3 here. I put 3 underneath here. Let me get the light to show you guys. Got one right up here. We've got one right up here in the middle. And then we've got two up there on the grill. So it's a little hard to see, but we've got one in the middle here, right by where the license plate would be, and two on either side up on the grill. Then we've got one in here and one back there, same on the other side. We come over here, we've got one, two, three, we've got one, two, and then there's a third one there and a fourth one there. Then we've got two more in here. I know it's hard to see, but it's in there. And there's one in there. Then when we come around to the back, we stuck them all the way up in here. So we've got one there and one on the other side. So after all of that, we ran the switches inside and I've got them right there. So I've got one and two, and you can see the green glow. Now let's go outside and let's see how good it actually looks. So I went to go change quick because I was filthy, dust and dirt and all kinds of Jeep stuff. But let's hop in, let's go for a ride. And we won't be too long because we are still leaking a good amount of fuel. I mean, not fuel, oil. But it's not that bad. I've started it a few times and it's not like it's pissing out. So I'm not worried about it running dry. I just don't want to be driving it around while it's leaking. So let's hop in and let's see what it looks like outside in the dark. And we're also gonna get to test out those headlights. That should be interesting. I haven't taken those out yet. So I'm just driving over to this parking lot that I know is not going to be lit, so it's going to be nice and dark for us, but you can see the green pretty well. And for the headlights, if I turn them off, well actually let me shift gears for a second here. If I turn them off, you can see not bad. High beams don't really do too much, but they are a lot better than the candles we had in there before. And here we are, guys. I know you can't really see anything. There's my hand. But so this is before, can't see anything. Now flip the two switches. So there they are. So it is actually pretty bright in person. You can see everything underneath the vehicle. The grill came out great. I'm super happy with that. The wheel wells also came out great. And I think we've got the perfect level of brightness. It's nice and even all around. And I'll give you guys a couple shots that I took off my phone so you can actually see a little bit better, because the GoPro doesn't actually come out that well at night. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm actually really happy with it. Super happy with how the grill came out. It's really nice and bright. That's exactly what I was going for. And yeah, now let's head back because I need to go get some rest. Well guys, we made it back. Everything looks like it's working, and it is a lot brighter than I thought it would be. The headlights work. They work great actually. They're super bright. And these will still actually serve a function because I can still use them for my long distance driving lights. So whenever I'm coming back from off-roading and I'm on a country road, those are going to come in nice and handy. But I'm super happy with how this all turned out, and it looks great. It's a lot brighter than I thought it would be, and I am super happy with it. I think it's perfect. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys have done or what you guys plan to do to yours. And let me know if you guys like the way it turned out, because honestly, I love it. I think it looks great, and it was a lot of work, and I'm happy with it, and I'm satisfied. So far, so good. Let's see how long they hold up. because you know when I go off-roading, we're not gonna go light. We're gonna go and we're gonna sink this thing in some mud. So trust me, we'll put them to the test. But for now, it's time for me to go get some rest and to go and sleep because it is late. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for watching. And if you're still at this point in the video, you guys are the real champions. So thank you. And if you're still here, drop me a like, drop me a comment, let me know what you guys want to see next. And trust me, I've got lots more plans because we still have wheels and tires, lift, and a few more goodies that I don't want to give away just yet. But trust me, we are going to be putting this Jeep together and we're going to be making something awesome. So hopefully you guys will be there with us. But until next time, guys, ride safe out there. Peace.